Life is like a box of chocolates. I know as soon as I say that, you know I'm talking about the movie Forrest Gump. Most of you will have seen it and will have remembered it. The question is, what's that movie really about? Is it about a guy that's got all sorts of disadvantages and the way he travels through that? Maybe. Is it a love story? Maybe. I've got a different take on it. I think the movie Forrest Gump is about a wealth creation strategy. Hi, I'm Nick Farrow from Abundance Global. Let me explain a little bit further. How many millionaires do you know? For most people that I ask that question to, they're going to say, well, I don't know any. Or perhaps I met one once. Here's what I guarantee. There are millionaires all around you at the moment. They're invisible to you. They're like Forrest Gump sitting on the bench at the bus stop, talking to an old man and an old lady, telling lovely stories about a box of chocolates, when he announced that he was the owner of the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. He had shares in Apple and all these other things, that he was building this amazing fortune. But here he was, just this slow guy who was busy leading a lovely life in, I think it was Alabama, spending his time running across the country. Why could he run across the country? It was because he had an amazing amount of wealth that he'd created already, that he was able to just pack up and go. When he wanted to do something, he would sit on the ride-on mower and mow the grass at the local high school football field. Not because he needed the money, but because because that's what he really wanted to do. He had his finances sorted. There's an amazing book called The Millionaire Next Door. And it's a story about people that live in your suburbs. They might be people you know regularly and have no idea that they are millionaires. And the reason that they're invisible, the reason that they're the people next door, is they're not leading a flashy life. They give no clues away that they are in fact very wealthy. And the truth is, you could be one of them. And there's no real secrets in what they're doing, those people next to you. The book, The Millionaire Next Door, distilled down that there's 7 key things that those invisible millionaires do, the ones that are living all around you that you don't even know. Now, I'm going to map out those for you, so to give you an understanding of what it takes to become someone who's not pretentious, not flashy, but nevertheless a very wealthy individual. What does it take to have loads and loads of cash? In The Millionaire Next Door, they map it out like this. The first one is that most of those millionaires next door to you are actually quite frugal. When I was growing up, I knew a man who was very wealthy. He was from a family that we knew quite well. My family, growing up having holidays with them and were involved in businesses together. And we knew that he was a very wealthy individual. Most people wouldn't have though. On a cold winter's day, on a Saturday, this guy who, as I say, was very wealthy, would be outside at his wood pile. And he'd have the hose out and he'd be watering his wood pile. And my father once said to him, why are you out here on a cold Saturday afternoon? There's anything you could be doing and you're watering your wood pile. And he said, well, once I water it and I take it inside tonight with the family and we put it in the fireplace, because I've watered it, it burns slower. Now, I don't want you guys out there thinking, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire, I've got to water my wood pile. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm giving here is a mindset that he had. He was absolutely being frugal. In my mind, over the top frugal, but nevertheless, he was conscious of the way that he spent his money and wouldn't spend it on something that he considered wasteful. The second thing that these invisible millionaires do, excuse me, they all, without doubt, they budget. Now, chances are as an entrepreneur, you've got some kind of budget in your business. The truth is, you need a budget at home and you need to know how to stick to it. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to save every cent we can and water our wood and all those sorts of things, but it does mean we plan. So what I want you to do in order to take these steps to becoming very wealthy is make sure that you and your family have a budget and everyone knows what it's for and how to stick to it. So work out what is your income and how are you going to allocate that on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis so that you know ahead of time what your spending is going to be. You know ahead of time what your savings are going to be and what you're going to do with those. By all means, do things, have holidays, do all sorts of things, eat out. Do the things that bring you joy, but allow and budget for them. Absolutely key. The next thing that people who become very wealthy do, I guess this is behaviour more than anything, from the Millionaire Next Door is they have a very strong value and belief in being financially independent. And that belief and that value, their desire to be financially independent is greater than their desire for flashy cars, nice houses, good clothes, the latest sneakers, whatever it might be. So it's actually a value that needs to be set. You need to ask yourself this question. What are your values around money? What are your values about financial independence long term? And how does that compare with your desire for the latest new car, the latest diamond ring, or whatever is the latest craze that tickles your fancy? If your mindset is around let's go have this thing, and rather than around valuing financial independence, it's going to be very hard for you to become one of these invisible millionaires. The next thing that was very, very interesting and often counterintuitive is that most of the millionaires that were surveyed and put into this study in the Millionaire Next Door, almost none of them were what you might call trust fund babies. They had no parental economic outpatient care. So these were self-made people. They didn't have a silver spoon put in their mouth. They weren't given a large amount of cash or first homes or whatever it might be, a financial leg up from their families, from their parents. And that's absolutely key. Their parents knew that in order for them to succeed, they needed to learn to do it on their own and learn to do it on their own from a very early age. So no trust fund babies. It's really easy to look at people who are trust fund babies and have a bunch of wealth and just kind of frittering life away. Yeah, they might do okay, but they're often the people that actually lose wealth rather than make it over time. Okay, the next one . Well, this one related to the millionaires' relationships with their parents. This one here that they teach, not give, is to do with their relationship with their kids. So just like they were not given wealth, regardless of how wealthy their parents were, they do not give their children wealth. They actually teach their children to go and make money. They give them the opportunities to learn. They set a great example for their kids, but they do not give wealth. And by doing that, they actually set their children up for also a life that of comfort and abundance. Really, really important. There's a biblical phrase actually that we don't give a man a fish, we teach him to fish so that he can feed himself for life. It's exactly the same principle that these millionaires next door take when it comes to their kids. The next one of these key distinctions was that the millionaires next door, these self-made people, they become extremely good at targeting opportunities. Believe it or not, there are opportunities to make money that circulate through your life all the time. And most of them we pass by. Oh yeah, I should do that. Maybe you don't even notice it and we let these opportunities go. These people that we're talking about, these invisible millionaires, they see an opportunity and it's like, ooh, there's an opening for me. And they get in there and they grab it. They're super good at targeting opportunities. And one of the opportunities that they're best at is identifying where there are people with money that require a particular good or service. Great way to target opportunities is to, who is it with money and what do they need? And then the final thing, and this one when I first read it, it's like, that can't be true. And yet, time and time again, it's proven that it is. Most of these millionaires next door, not all, but most of them, in fact, 50% of America's millionaires are self-employed. Generally, the areas that they're self-employed in are boring. They're not into the latest trend, the latest new industry. What's the latest cutting edge that I can deliver and I'll be a step ahead. As soon as you go down that path and you get exciting in your business, someone's going to catch up and take over really, really quickly. These people sell shoes. They make cardboard boxes. They're dentists. They own bowling alleys. They do things that are just everyday mundane things that people always need. People need shoes. They want to go to bowling alleys. They need to have their teeth checked. There's nothing flashy about this, but yet they can be very, very profitable. In fact, one of our key sayings here at Abundance Global is, boring is profitable. Have a think about your business. What is it about your business that is the boring part of it that you can do all day, every day and create a profit from? And that becomes your target. So there you have it. In order to reach this pinnacle of abundant wealth, to climb that iceberg and create the wealth that you desire, to get to the top of that iceberg, here are some of the principles that you need to follow. So again, be frugal, budget with your family, value financial independence. Probably too late to do anything about it now, but you don't need to be a trust fund baby to be wealthy. If you've got kids now, teach them to fish, don't give to them, and particularly as they become adults. Look for opportunities and target them, and in your business, look for boring. Boring's profitable. If you want to find more out about how to create wealth through business, click the link below. We've got this amazing community that you can join for free, find out a bit more about us and what we do.